Welcome aboard the second of my two behind-the-scenes films at the Classic TT Manx Grand Prix Festival in 2019, concentrating today exclusively on Senior Race Day, which was the Saturday of the first weekend. I'm filming under the same conditions as I was previously, with no facility to film the live circuit, but I hope that what I have managed to put together you find interesting. On a busy day, we have a fairly brief look around the workshop pit area, where we visit first of all the Davis Motorsport pit, and we see Lee Johnson checking out the riding position of his junior 350cc Honda, ready for Monday's race. Number 13 there. Further down the workshop, in a minute, behind the mechanic, we shall see Dominic Herbertson's junior machine, number 9, behind the naked machine. These machines really are a work of art, which can only really be appreciated when they are unclothed. Mr. John Davis is a bit like Alfred Hitchcock, likes to appear in his own films. Mr. Fred Walmsley, the tuner on the Ripley land stand, attends to the classic 500cc Sealy Matchless G50. Just outside the Ripley land stand, we find the gentleman who performs an excellent George Formby tribute routine with his replica of the No Limits motorcycle, which appeared in the film of that name, based on the 1936 TT and starring George Formby. He's a great favourite with the youngsters. He pops up again later in this film as well, doing the same sort of thing. Across the way on the John Chapman Racing stand, we find Dan Sales Jr. Classic Honda, number 18 there. And then the MV number 3 was listed as being Ian Locker's intended mount for the Senior Classic. And the bike in the background, the lightweight number 15 with the green numbering, is, I think, Dominic Herbertson's Honda. His racing number changed. In fact, rider number changes and machine number changes make life pretty difficult doing a film like this after the event. On the Team York classic Suzuki stand, where again both bikes are in a state of mechanical undress, which makes identification extremely difficult. Gary Johnson and Sam West are their two nominated riders on the 1100 Suzuki Superbike.
So they've had an all-night session as well, have they? Yeah. That's often easier though, isn't it, than trying to diagnose a problem. Exactly. One lad I spoke to, his failed on the first lap yesterday, and then he put another engine in 2 hours, and that blew up. We were at Ramsey, and that blew up there. Yeah. So that's 2 engines, only a young lad. Oh, absolutely, yeah. He's going to pull it.
Got fuel just there, mate.
The top Superbike rider in the Oxford Racing Ducati team is of course James Hillier, number 5, who's portrayed there on the poster. They used to call the old Series A 1000cc Vincent pre-war the plumber's nightmare. I suspect that the Ducati might even be called the electrician's nightmare, judging by the scene there under the fairing. I think I've said before, the Obsession Engineering banner makes identification of the riders and the machines very simple. Dave Houston rides the Superbike Classic Kawasaki number 31, and Eric Wilson rides the same bike, number 61. And Dave Houston also rides the lightweight Yamaha TZ250. We've considered previously the exceptional quality of both the appearance and the care and attention given to Maria Costello's Patton 500cc machine. She rides at number 7 in today's Senior Classic TT and appears a number of times later on in this little film. We wish her well. Back in the Davis Motorsport pit, we see Mr. Davis taking responsibility for Alan Ogilvy's Senior Honda number 11, which is being readied for today's race, of course. and a brief look too at Bill Swallow's two machines entered in the senior race and the junior race, his Ducati number 14 and his junior Honda. The Alistair Cowan racing team is a Kawasaki team racing the big GCXR Kawasaki machines in the superbike class. Their three riders, as the publicity said, are Dave Johnson, number 9, Craig Neve, number 12, and Forrest Dunn, number 25. And they had significant success in the race proper. All were finishers, and without letting out any secrets, one in fact was the winner. Binch Racing, whose pit this is, also have three riders: Lee Johnson, Jamie Coward and Gary Vines. All will be Yamaha mounted in the lightweight class. That one, of course, will not be competing, but maybe competing for somebody's Christmas stocking. Who knows? We've looked previously at the Whiz Norton pit, which always attracts my attention, and this is Richard Wilson's bike number 37. He and Gary Vines both campaigned in the superbike class, of course, with these machines. There's also in the pit two of Richard Wilson's smaller machines, number 20, which is his 350 Honda Junior machine, which races under the Chris Hughes Racing banner, and also a 500 Honda, which is his senior machine, number 28. The bike in picture now is number 44, Gary Vines' machine. Oil is being drained there from Richard Wilson's Junior Honda, the 350, which races, as I said, under the Chris Hughes Racing banner. And in the background, in a moment, we shall see his larger senior bike, number 28, which is a 500 Honda. I'm quite relieved that I've sorted out the status of bike number 34, which is the Aramaki Harley Davidson on the Ted Wolfe Craven Classic Racing team. It's probably Gary Vines' mount based on the racing number, not a parade bike as I suggested in my first film, and we shall see it shortly preparing for the junior practice session in Parc Fermé. The Dunnell Racing Team campaigns two Nortons. Manx Nortons, the 500 and the 350 in the senior and junior classes.
Did you have trouble
Their
yesterday?
declared rider is Danny Webb, who races under racing number 12 in both those races.
The side of the track, even after the morning session between Balloch Bridge and Ramsey.
Was that?
There must have been at least half a dozen.
Oh, right. Well, we had 2 stop yesterday.
Yeah. One went through the fence at Guthrie's. The bike went down the bank, I
Oh,
think.
Christ. Not good?
Not good.
Right, how long? We won't worry. So, you want some more fuel out the van now, don't you? Yeah, fix some oil, yeah. What was that, Paul?
We've looked previously at the Kraus Prez Racing team, and their key rider, of course, is Jamie Coward, who rides the big Kawasaki Superbike number 8. There are numerous stands, large and small, supporting the riders, tyres, motorcycle spares and so on. And this is the Solo company presenting their starter roller system in a variety of modes. There's the motocross version, which is hardly appropriate to this event, but there are several variations on the same theme on their stand. Strength to their arm. I don't know a great deal about the Spitfire Mark. It's obviously a new entrant into the market with its, what I would call at least, street scrambler machines. Later on in the day I saw Carl Fogarty having a chat to the owner of the company, at least I guessed he was the owner. A light-hearted moment, I guess, as the George Formby tribute gentleman joins the display and very soon attracts these 2 little lads to have the autograph and what have you. I don't know what engines are used on these bikes, but undoubtedly the cycle parts are in a unique configuration. I wish them well.
Feeling warm or very warm in the sunshine, with temperatures rising to 22 degrees, as high as 24 in places sheltered.
You may have noticed in the background a group of scouts passing through who operate the scoreboard mechanism on race days, and their efforts are invaluable and much appreciated, all part of the Isle of Man tradition.
Absolutely, you guys need to go.
You will see from the graphic on the screen that we're in for a busy day, and I'm going to spend a fair bit of time in Park Fairmay filming the activity prior to those events. I may not have room on this film for my still photographs of the lightweight race and the Hizzy commemorative lap, but there's plenty to see. Our first view of the bikes proper is this array of junior classic machines that we'll be practicing later, and then we hear a call for the superbike competitors to come forward to the line, and one of those coming forward is Michael Dunlop, who will take his place on his big Suzuki for Team Classic Suzuki, and there he is.
Backside. I bring. Oh, I've got an extra. It's heavy, but it's good on Monday. I think they were moaning and bitching about hotels and other shit. I was like, a tour around. Oh no, I want them on. I get hired about myself because they're fucking up.
There's practicing, of course, for both classic and Manx Grand Prix bikes, and there's a mixture of both in the Parc Fermé at the moment. Number 47 there is Nigel Ray's GSXR 600 Suzuki, which is a junior Manx Grand Prix machine. And then we move across to number 8, which is Dave Butler's Kawasaki ZX6R. Number 35 is Jack Fowler's Triumph Daytona 675. That's the engine which is now being used in MotoGP, or Moto 2 I should say. And then number 39, Richard Stubbs on his Yamaha R6. The bike there with the green fairing is Darren Horan's Senior Manx Grand Prix machine, the Suzuki GXR 750. And then we have another Junior Manx Grand Prix machine, Andrew Fisher's Yamaha R6, number 16. And that bike there hasn't come very far. It's Nathan Harrison's Suzuki, and it's come from Onken, just up the road on the Isle of Man. And then in a moment or two we shall see number 42, which is Nick Sutherwood's GSXR 600, and to the other extreme, Nick comes from Auckland in New Zealand. Walking to the other side of the enclosure, we see the two big Team Classic Suzuki 1100s, number 6 and 16, which are the mounts of Michael Dunlop and Philip Crow, who are taking their ease there. Next up is number 35, Josh Daly's 750 Yamaha superbike from the Pete Beale stable. And then two bikes, number 43 and 78, the bikes of Alan Brodie and the Frenchman Richard Vuillermet, who's a 750 Kawasaki, and he's extremely keen that I should film the graphics on the front of his bike. So sponsors, watch out. There they are. And this is the well-coordinated team from Binch Racing with two classic lightweight machines. Number 13 is Lee Johnson's Yamaha, and number 8 is Jamie Coward's Yamaha, both of course 250cc. Jamie alongside. And there's Darryl Tweed alongside his Honda CBR 600. He comes from Ballymoney in Northern Ireland, and that's his junior Manx Grand Prix machine, number 12. Bike number 51 there is Mark Parrott's classic superbike, which is a 750 Kawasaki, and next to that are two junior Manx Grand Prix machines, Dennis Booth and Alan Johnson, number 24 and number 70. They are both riding Kawasaki ZX6R machines. I'm afraid that number 50, Andrew Davis's classic lightweight 350 Yamaha, got lost in the rush there. But number 24 is another classic lightweight, Alex Sinclair's 750 Ducati. Little and Large next, Alex Whitwell's classic superbike, his 1100 Suzuki, number 65, and alongside it is Phil Harvey's 250 Yamaha, Laylaw Racing. We shall see number 54, Carl Fox's classic junior machine, in a few moments again. That was a very brief glimpse. Now we have 3 bikes from the VRS racing team. Number 11 there is Brad Vickers' Manx Grand Prix junior bike. Next to it is number 69, Pete Murray's Honda CBR 600. And then in a moment we shall see Brad Vickers' entry in the Manx Grand Prix lightweight race. Number 10. There it is. Another wobbly
I
introduction.
think I did it. It's, I think I've got them, but I'll do it again. It'll be on YouTube.
Yeah, all right.
My name is Warr,
The familiar faces of Ian Locker and his wife. He'll be racing his Laylaw Racing Yamaha 250, which is number 3 in the classic lightweight race. The classic lightweight bike there, number 14 with the green number, is Chris Moore's Yamaha 250, which is raced under the Devitt Racing banner. And next to it is Dan Sale's 350 Honda, his classic junior bike. We've seen that one in the pits. And Ian's bike, Ian Locker's number 3, is tucked in behind there. Mr. Paget's Hondas have a new livery this year to reflect their new sponsor, Milenko, and his 250 Honda classic lightweight machine is there. Alongside that is Adrian Harrison's superbike, number 59, the 750 Kawasaki. And then we see the 2 Steadpan racing machines, Ben Ray, number 26, and Andrew Farrell. Both of those are riding 750 Kawasaki's. Next we see the 2 classic junior 350 Honda bikes. Number 67 is Gary Hutton's mount for Dempster Racing, and number 74 is a newcomer, Simon Collins. And then at the end is Dave Maltravers Norton Manx, his classic senior bike, number 34. There we see Steve Moody's classic superbike, a 750 Honda, with Michael Rutter on the other side of the fence. There's all hands to the pump in Team Winfield with the preparation of Michael Rutter's 1200 Yamaha. Team Winfield's owner operates the mechanical starter, and Michael Rutter's mobile phone, an essential piece of kit, is loaded into his backpack. Fox Classic Racing campaigned an Egley Vincent last year in the Classic Junior section, but this year they're campaigning a Honda 350 with Alex Sinclair as their rider, number 15. Another pair of 750 Kawasaki's that we've looked at previously in the pits, the Obsession Engineering bikes, ridden by Eric Wilson, number 61, and Dave Houston, number 31. Ryan Neen's Superbike, number 25, is also a Kawasaki, Team Herheim Racing. Darren Cooper's 750 Yamaha, his Superbike, number 48, is sponsored by Cumbria Radiators. And Michael de Coupil's Superbike, number 49, 750 Suzuki, has other sponsors, Cooks and Travel included. I will resist the joke and just continue. Stuart McCann's Manx Grand Prix Junior bike is a Triumph Daytona 675cc. And then Andrew Fisher on his Yamaha R6 absolutely dwarfs the bike. That too is his junior bike. Our French friend Richard Vuillemet gets away on his Kawasaki 750, his classic superbike. He's rather left on his own there. Chance now to look at a couple of the senior classic race bikes for this morning's race. First of these is Stefano Bonetti's Patton, number 2, beautifully turned out machine. And there's Danny Webb's Norton, entered by the Donnell Norton racing team. We saw those in the pit earlier. Much more conventional machine. Number 72, the junior classic bike, is Jason Burrell's 350 Honda. He's a newcomer. And number 42 is Alec Whitwell's senior classic bike for Jeff Bates Racing. He certainly isn't a newcomer. And number 55 is Colin Stockdale's 500 Honda. And now we're back where we started with the junior classic bikes. The Aermacchi there is creating some interest. It's being run up and is the source of most of the noise you can hear. Next to it is Lee Johnson's Davis Motorsport 350 Honda. Number 1 is Paul Jordan's 350 AJ, the Ripley Land machine, and number 4 is Michael Rutter's Honda, the 350. Number 47 we can see there in the distance is Tom Wheaton's 350 Norton, the Goatland Garage Classics bike. And now we're looking at Dominic Herbertson's Davis Motorsport machine, the 350 Honda. Bike number 75, which I didn't make reference to just now, is the 350 Honda of newcomer Terence Sansom. We spotted number 20, the 350 Honda of Richard Wilson, when we visited the Wiz Norton tent. And bike number 17 there is Chris McGann's Senior Classic 500 Honda. I first met Chris back in 1998 at the Welbeck during the TT. And John Mack's Patton is under wraps. And this is Danny Webb, Michael's teammate with bike number 17, and Philip McCallum of TT Record fame takes a snap. The Junior Manx Grand Prix bikes are now coming back from their practice, and we can watch 2 or 3 of them come in. Number 37 is Radley Hughes on his Kawasaki. He'll be followed by number 53, Roger Wibberley on his R6 Yamaha. And then we shall see number 50, Mike Minns on his Honda. He's a previous winner of the Manx Grand Prix. Michael Rutter is busy preparing there for his outing on his classic superbike, his Yamaha, dealing with his tear-offs. Fastidious is Michael. This is a rather longer look at number 47, Tom Whedon on his Goatland Classics machine, the classic junior bike, together with his sponsor who appears in picture in a moment or two.
While it's stood still, it goes up here.
Number 1 is Paul Jordan's HAS Classic, which we've spotted a couple of times this morning. And number 13, Lee Johnson's 350 Honda, is wheeled forward by John Davis's mechanic. Number 46 is Jeff Smith's classic junior Honda, the 350, which I hadn't spotted previously, so there he is. Number 42, Richard Lambourne, pulls forward on his 350 Honda, but newcomer Ken Parks, number 73, waits patiently for his higher number group to be called forward. Ewan Hamilton on bike number 24 pulled away there quickly, and Dave Matravers on his 350 Sealy HAS number 27 is in front of us there. The lack of steering lock is very evident. Jason Lamb, number 59, gets a very welcome push. Number 75, Terry Sanson, the Honda newcomer, ponders his next move, and finally Ken Parks gets away. With John McGuinness's Peyton in the background, we now look at Maria Costello's bike, Team Booger Racing, which is the third of the three teams employing these splendid machines. The other, of course, being Stefano Bonetti's team, Speed Motor. The bike in the centre there, number 73, is Richard Stott's matchless G50, the 500cc machine, and bikes 55 and 42 are the 500 Honda of Colin Stockdale, 455, and Alec Whitwell. We looked at Alec's bike just now. Next to Alec's machine is Derek Shields' Honda number 18 Greenall Racing machine. And then we see Danny Webb's Donnell Norton very briefly, John Barton's Sealy Matchless G50, and then we shall see another Matchless, number 36, Meredith Owens' bike, coming into view on the left. Very briefly, number 20, Ben Ray's Honda, and then Stefano Bonetti's Peyton at the end in its distinctive green livery. In that little bit of film, it was a choice between me and the bikes from a sound standpoint, and I fancy the bikes won. But we've still got a chance to look at the Hondas of Lee Johnson, number 13, and Dominic Herbertson, the Davis Motorsport machines. Now we can watch number 8, Jamie Coward's Norton, from the Ted Wolfe Craven Manx team, rolled backwards onto its starting device. Bike number 65 there, behind the pair of sat trucks, is Ian Bainbridge's 500 Petty Norton. But the Honda which follows is trying hard to remain anonymous. Bike 63 there is Russell Robury's 500 Honda. Bike number 31 there with the green fairing is Effin Owens' 500 Norton, and bike number 70, Tony Tuttle, sporting an umbrella, is his 500 Honda. I guess that gentleman is Mr. Tony Tuttle, who's a regular at this event, and the bike we shall see next is number 43, Richard Lambourne's Norton. A brief shot of Maria Costello in conversation, followed by Michael Rutter's machine, his Matchless number 4, and then we see John McGuinness striding forward purposefully with his family to take up his position. Pleased to see his walking seems much easier this year. Bike number 11 there is Alan Oversby's machine, being ministered to by one of John Davis's mechanics. There's a shared responsibility there, I think. Bike number 23 there, alongside Alan's, is the Honda of Michael Sweeney. Maria's bike, quiet at last. Here we see Alan Oversby on parade with his little team of mechanics and supporters. And Chris McGann in a similarly upbeat mood. The bikes are moving to the line now for the start of the race. Chris McGann's bike, John McGuinness's bike, and steadily the whole field will assemble on the grid. Once again, it's noticeable how tight the steering lock is on these machines, which I suppose adds to stability but not manoeuvrability. Tony Tuttle, Grant Sellers, Alec Whitwell, all moving forward. Leon Murphy's bike there, number 60, another of the Hondas which are almost the bike of choice in this race. And then we shall see John McGuinness and his family walking up the ramp to the grid and on to the next stage of the day's proceedings. With the senior race underway, I went back down to the area behind the grandstand, the display area, and there I found Carl Fogarty chatting to the Spitfire team with their display of what I called street scramble machines.
Steve's discussing that, so that's a little bit
It's certainly a very distinctive configuration, and I can see the attraction to the younger set. Very soon after the start, there was a red flag incident at Balaf, and the race was stopped on the first lap. The riders came back to the Parc Fermé area under marshal control. Here they are streaming back into that area. The bikes then duly reassembled in Parc Fermé, and there's Maria Costello's pattern receiving some attention, and number 75 is Gary Freeman's Honda. And that's Tom Whedon's junior Honda, still parked there by Dave Matravers Norton, number 34. And then a gathering of the clans around Michael Rutter's bike, his Matchless. There's Steve Plater and Steve Parrish, both of whom are on TV duties, chatting to Lee Johnson and, of course, Michael Rutter himself, waiting for the restart arrangements to come into force. Some of these bikes must be becoming quite familiar now. We have Alec Whitwell's Honda, number 42. And bike 55 is Colin Stockdale's machine. And there's Colin, I guess. And in a moment or two we shall see James Hillier's Honda, a bike we've not looked at previously. There's James's machine. And Lee Johnson has parked his Honda, number 13, just a little bit further up the line. Next to Lee's machine I can see number 67, Grant Sellers Norton, and a little further along is bike number 40 is John Barton's Sealy Matchless. The bike immediately to my right now, with number 73, is Richard Stott's Matchless G50. And then engaged in an internet discussion is Ben Ray with his little team by bike number 20, Honda. And then bike number 58, which we'll see in a moment, is Arthur Browning's Wobbly Bob Racing matchless. Not at all wobbly is Stefano Bonetti's Patton number 2, and then further along number 18 is Derek Shields' Honda. Number 8 there is the Craven Classics Norton, which is ready to go again. And then we shall see Russell Rober's Honda number 63. Russell too is a regular competitor with his brother. This is Will Loader's matchless number 38, and next to it number 41 is Keith Clark's Norton. Number 31 is Heffin Owen's Norton, which we've looked at previously. I don't think we've looked previously at number 65, Ian Bainbridge's Norton, but there it is. Meredith Owen flies the British flag with his matchless G50, and then we see bike number 17 in the middle there, Chris McGann's Honda. And then the man of many starts, I've christened him, Dave Madsen Migdal. He's made more starts on this course than any other rider, as I understand it.
Third race signal. Could we have the bikes number 1 to 20, please? 1 through to 20, up onto the start line for the
And this is the bike of multiple winner John McGuinness, the wonderful Patton machine. And to conclude this little second look at the bikes, we see Alan Oversby's extremely tidy looking Honda, and we're ready to go. John McGuinness gets things underway on his Patton for Team Winfield. And next we see Michael Rutter, the Ripley Land Racing matchless G50, Ted Walmsley tuned machine. And then we look at James Hillier on his 500 Honda CSC racing machine. And then we see Maria Costello on her Patton Team Buger Racing. And she's followed by number 8, Jamie Coward, on the 500 Norton, the Ted Wolfe Classic Craven Manx Norton machine. There are several non-starters this time around, as you will have noticed, but this is Alan Oversby on his 500 Honda. Ireland Honda is the team. And he's followed by number 13, Lee Johnson, on the Davis Motorsport machine. Number 16 is Mark Parslow. And number 17 is Chris McGann in his distinctive helmet on his Honda. Number 18 is Derek Shields on his Greenall Racing Honda. Number 19 is Tom Wheaton, who we looked at in the pits, the Goatland Garage sponsorship. Number 20 is Ben Ray on his Honda. And he's followed by number 23, Michael Sweeney on yet another Honda, CSC Racing. Number 31 is Heffin Owen on his Norton. With his Welsh Dragon on the helmet. Number 41 is Keith Clark on the Izzard Racing Norton. We're back to number 36, hence my delay just now. Meredith Owen on his 500 matchless. I wondered where he was. Number 35 is the man of many starts, Dave Madsen Migdal on his Honda. Number 38 is Will Loader on his matchless. Number 40 is John Barton on his matchless, which I think was a Sealy matchless in fact. Number 63 is Russell Robery on his Honda. Russell gets away. And then we're back to number 34, Dave Matravers on his Norton. We looked at his bike several times in the Parc Fermé. Number 42, of course, is Alec Whitwell on his Honda, the Jeff Bates racing machine. And he's followed by number 55, Colin Stockdale on his Honda. Whitby Tyre and Exhaust Centre Limited. Number 65 is Ian Bainbridge on his Norton. Where would some of these people be without their sponsors? Where would racing be without sponsorship? Number 58 is Arthur Browning on his Matchless, the Wobbly Bob machine. Number 67 is Grant Sellers on his Norton. Number 73 is Richard Stott on his Matchless. There goes Richard. Number 75 is Gary Freeman on his Honda, an Isle of Man resident, sponsored by Isle of Man Copiers. And number 53 is Paul Williams, managing to get past the starter's arm. And number 43 is Richard Lambourne on his 500 Norton, RJH Racing. And he concludes the list of starters, and the scouts can now relax. To the winners, the spoils. The trophy there for the Bennett's Senior Classic TT of 2019. The winner was John McGuinness on his Team Winfield Patton at an average speed of 111.236 miles an hour. Second was Stefano Bonetti on yet another Patton at an average speed of 110.398. And then Jamie Coward raised the British flag with his Craven Manx Norton in third place at an average speed of 108.527. And John waves the trophy there. Much deserved after the problems that he's had in the last couple of years. The champagne flows. John, Stefano and Jamie acknowledged the crowd. And there's a wonderful view of Stefano Bonetti and his loyal team of supporters. And his laurel wreath. And there's John, wearing two hats and carrying the trophy. Well done, John.